Hey guys, King here. If you've been living under a rock, Minecraft has a new update coming out on June 7th, featuring changes and additions to the world. Today I'm going to walk you through all of them. There are also chapters on this video for your convenience. To kick off the video, we'll be talking about all the blocks, starting with the Froglights. Froglights are dropped by small magma cubes when eaten by frogs, and depending on what frog type eats the magma cube, the Froglight color will be different. The three colors of Froglight are pearlescent, verdant, and ochre. Froglights also produce light level 15. Our next block is the Frogspawn block. This is a non-solid block, which means you can place right through it, and it can be placed only on the surface of water. If the water is removed, it'll also disappear. This block is only obtainable by breeding frogs, commands, or the creative inventory, and when they hatch, it'll spawn tadpoles. Moving on to some of our mangrove stuff here. The only unique item here besides all the new wood type is that leaves have the special function where if you bone meal them, it'll spawn the Propagule. We'll go ahead and take a quick look just at everything else here. So you have the log, the stripped log, the wood, the other wood, the planks, the slab, this fence, stairs, trapdoor, pressure plate, button, fence, door, sign, and then you have the boat and the boat with a chest. Mangrove Propagules are mangrove tree saplings which grow from the leaves, as shown earlier. They can be planted in the water or on the land. They have 4 stages of growth, and they break off of the mangrove trees by themselves when they reach a certain stage. Moving on to the mangrove roots, they're like leaves, but they mine faster when hit with an axe, as opposed to being hit with a hoe. Some other interesting properties with the mangrove roots is that they don't break by piston like the leaves, and they will channel redstone through it, unlike leaves. Moving on to one of my more exciting additions to Minecraft, we have mud. Mud is found in the new mangrove swamp biomes, and they can also be created by using water bottle on some forms of dirt, such as rooted dirt, coarse dirt, and dirt. You can use it by using a water bottle on it, just like this, and they'll all turn to the same type of mud. You can also dry out mud and turn it into clay by using a dripstone underneath it, and it will drip dry it completely, just like this. Couple more things about mud is that it is just like soul sand in the fact that you sink down a little bit in it. One of the final features about mud is that Enderman can in fact hold mud. Along with mud, there's packed mud, which is crafted using mud and wheat, and then you get packed mud. Quite possibly one of my favorite blocks this update is the mud bricks. Mud bricks come in all the variations as stone bricks, and it is crafted using 4 packed mud, just like this. One of the final additions to the mangrove family is the muddy mangrove roots, which you can craft using mud and mangrove roots. One of the interesting features here is, unlike its cousin, it cannot be waterlogged. One of the other interesting things is, unlike its cousin, which requires an axe, it is broken with a shovel. A new addition to the ancient cities and to the Deepslate family is reinforced Deepslate. This block is indestructible to any explosions, including the Ender Dragon and the Wither. This block is not obtainable in survival, but it can be broken in 82.5 seconds, or 9 times longer than obsidian. Still going. Almost there. Really close. Yeah, it takes a while. There's also just one more property about this block that is interesting. It is also immovable. I am pretty curious to hear what you guys think this block could do in the future, So go ahead and let me know with a comment down below. We have a brand new block added to the Minecraft family, which is called Sculk. This block generates in the new deep dark biome and has a slightly animated texture, as you can see. This block will drop experience when broken unless it is broken with Silk Touch, and it drops nothing when broken by TNT. This block will activate Sculk sensors and Shriekers, even if wool is placed on it. These blocks will also grow nearby when a mob dies near a Sculk catalyst. This block has some potential to be a very good XP farming source, so I hope to have a video out for you guys very soon for this. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you know when that comes out. This next block is also part of the Sculk family, and it generates in the deep dark biome as well. It has lots of interesting properties, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. The block produces a particle effect within 8 blocks whenever a mob dies. Produces more Sculk nearby whenever a mob dies, depending on how much experience it was supposed to drop will dictate how much the Sculk spreads. And if the mob doesn't drop any experience, it will still generate a Sculk block, but the block will not drop any XP in this case. I don't understand this part as well as the rest, but if a charge decays 4 blocks away from the catalyst, it can spawn either a Sculk sensor or a Sculk Shrieker. Continuing on with the charge effect, if it decays more than 24 blocks away from the catalyst, it will vanish. A Sculk catalyst will drop experience if it is broken, as long as it isn't broken with Silk Touch. But if it is broken with Silk Touch, it'll drop itself in survival. This block also emits a light level of 6 and blooms when activated. And this block will only replace blocks with Sculk if the block has the Sculk_replaceable tag. Another pretty cool block added to the Sculk family and to the deep dark biomes is the Sculk Shrieker. The Sculk Shrieker has the ability to shriek, which will create particles around it, and will also only shriek if the Sculk sensor sends a signal to it. Shriekers will summon a Warden if there isn't one already within 48 blocks, and when activated they give you the darkness effect. If it is activated 3 times, a Warden will be summoned from the ground. Players can have up to 4 levels of warnings, and every time a Shrieker is activated, the level will increase by 1. It will require only 1 Shriek to summon a Warden if you've already summoned it before. If broken without Silk Touch, this block will only drop XP. If you want to obtain a Sculk Shrieker block, you can obtain it by using Silk Touch in survival. If you manually place a Sculk Shrieker block, it will automatically have the can_summon tag set to false. One of the other Sculk blocks added in this update is the Sculk sensor. The Sculk sensor detects vibrations caused by different actions or events within a 9-block radius. On detection of a vibration, it will emit a redstone signal. Depending on the sound, it will create a different signal strength. This block also only drops XP unless broken by Silk Touch. In that case, it'll drop itself. The final block that I have today to show you is the Sculk Vein, which is also a part of the Sculk family, surprise surprise, and it generates as well in the deep dark biome on the edges of Sculk patches. Similar to snow, it generates as a layer on top of blocks, just like this, and can be placed on the side, the tops, or the bottoms. This block also has an animated texture, kind of pulsing like this. Drops nothing even with Silk Touch, has some transparency, and can be waterlogged. Next up I want to talk about the new items that they've added. And we're going to start off with the bucket of Tadpole, which is like a bucket of fish, but for tadpoles. Next up we got a pretty neat addition to the game, which is disc fragments. Disc fragments can be crafted in the Music Disc 5 in a pattern just like this, and they can only be obtained in ancient city chests. An exciting new addition to the game is Music Disc 5, which is brand new by Samuel Auberg, and it's kind of eerie like Music Disc 11. You can take a listen right now. Another new item, which can be found in the Ancient City loot chests, is the Echo Shard, which can be used to craft the Recovery Compass. Speaking of the Recovery Compass, this is a new type of compass that will point to the last death that you've had. You can craft it by putting a compass in the middle and surrounding it by 8 Echo Shards. And lastly, we have Goat Horns, which drop when a goat rams coal, copper, emerald, or iron ores, as well as logs, packed ice, or stone. There's 8 unique variants with unique sounds. They will also generate and pillager outpost chests. Alright, now we're going to talk... Alright, now we're going to talk about mobs for a second. In this update, they added the Allay, which won the mob vote in 2021. This mob will find dropped items for the player within a 64 block radius, and then it will drop the items near a note block that is playing sounds. They spawn in woodland mansions and occasionally pillager outpost cages. Then we have the frog. The frog and now we have the frog. The frog has 3 variants: temperate, warm, and cold. And depending on where they are, will depend on what variant you get. They can croak, they can jump at least 5 blocks tall in my testing, and they like to eat small slimes, which drop slime balls, and small magma cubes, which drop the Froglights, like already mentioned. Frogs can be led around and bred with slime balls, and they also grow from tadpoles. And now we have the tadpole, which grows up 20 minutes after hatching. They can also be picked up in a bucket, like we mentioned before, and axolotls will hunt them down and cause them to panic, and if caught, axolotls will in fact kill. And finally, we have our main attraction, the Warden. The Warden, while it does not have a sense of sight, it can smell, and it will move towards mobs and players with this ability. It can sense vibrations, and it will attack whatever causes that vibration. It'll come up out of the ground when summoned by Sculk Shriekers, which, as mentioned before, summons after 3 shrieks. It can 2-shot a player wearing full netherite armor, and is also the tallest mob in the game, standing at 3.5 blocks tall. The Warden also has a ranged attack, which reaches 15 blocks away and can only hit once. As you saw earlier, that's what got our poor froggies. The Warden does not burn in lava and cannot be knocked back, and when it's killed, it will drop the Sculk Catalyst. Another pretty interesting feature is the boat with chest. The boat with chest is like a boat, but with a chest instead of an extra seat. And it is crafted with, surprise surprise, a boat with a chest. Next up, we have probably one of the most exciting additions to Minecraft in a very long time is the Ancient City. This new structure generates at Y-52 in deep dark biomes. It contains this mysterious frame-like structure in the middle made of reinforced deepslate, like we talked about earlier. And this is the only place you can find things such as echo shards, disc fragments, and the swift sneak enchantment, which we'll talk about a little later. There's a few more secrets that I can't show you in this video because of time, but if you would like to see a video about that, I might be able to do a deep dive video if you comment down below. If you're not interested in watching a video about ancient cities, but you just want to find one, well, I also have a video for that. Check out the link in the description if you're interested. And now we're going to talk a minute about the new biomes, which, starting off with, we have the Deep Dark. The Deep Dark is a new biome that spawns between Y-1 and Y-64, although it has been said to reach up to Y-33. This is also the only biome that the ancient cities spawn in. Wardens and Sculk type blocks spawn here. It is also worth noting that no mobs except the Warden can spawn here unless spawned via a mob spawner. One of the other new biomes that we have in this update is the Mangrove Swamps. The Mangrove Swamps is a new swamp type that generates next to jungles and deserts, and contains the new mangrove trees and wood. All the dirt and grass is naturally mud, and warm frogs, slime, and tropical fish are spawned here while normal animals do not. Currently no structures spawn on the surface here, however that could change in the future. There's also some new advancements in this update, so we're going to quickly go over them right now. So, Starting off in the Husbandry tab, you have this little cookie icon, which is You've Got a Frenemy, which is to have an ally deliver items to you. You can take that last advancement a step further and get the birthday song, which is have an ally drop a cake at a note block. We also have another advancement here, which contains the tadpoles, which is called Bucket Bucket, which is to catch a tadpole in a bucket. The next advancement in that line is When a Squad Hops into Town, which is to get each frog variant on a lead. And then there's one more here, which is called With Our Powers Combined, which is to have all Froglights in your inventory at the same time. Our next set of advancements is going to be found in the Adventure tab. This advancement is called It Spreads, which is to kill a mob near a Sculk catalyst. Another advancement to do with Sculk is to Sneak 100. Sneak near a Sculk sensor or Warden to prevent it from detecting you. And now we have Swift Sneak. Swift Sneak is an enchantment that allows a player to sneak faster with a boost of up to 75% normal speed. Swift Sneak is also only available in Ancient Cities, as mentioned earlier, and comes in at 3 different levels. Another cool thing about this is it is an enchantment that's only available for the leggings. Alright, that's every major feature in Minecraft 1.19, the Wild Update. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you really liked it, consider subscribing. That's all I have time for today. Tell me your favorite food in the comments down below. Goodbye.